Hello, sweethearts. I know it's been a very long time, and first, apologize for the lighting. It is very cloudy outside. It's raining actually, so it's very gray out there, and the light that I get, it's not that much. And I had a little ring light on my camera, but there is this weird thing with the ring light that it doesn't work on its own, so it doesn't really load or doesn't have like any battery inside the ring light. So I had to keep it with my portable charger, as I don't have any actual like electricity plug here. So sometimes maybe the light will fade and then it will look like this. I think it still looks pretty weird, but I'm going to work with what I have. Now, like I said, it's been a while, I think quite several months since my last video, so I don't know exactly what kind of video to do. I thought about doing hauls, but I'm not sure about that, as I don't really like to show my body, and it is really weird, and I don't do really makeup videos because I don't think I'm like a great beauty guru or makeup guru or anything like that, and it's quite embarrassing. And I just do things pretty much how I feel, so I don't plan much about them. But yeah, so I thought, well, what I initially really wanted this channel to be in a way was about my paranormal stories, ghost stories, etc. So I thought about doing that, just maybe just a story time ghost story. So I hope you enjoy. Alright, so this story is quite personal. I kind of hesitated if telling it or not. I know probably a lot of people won't really believe what I saw or what happened to me, but it doesn't matter. It's just a story that I want to share anyways, and I think in general a lot of things about ghosts or any paranormal stuff, a lot of people won't believe it anyways. So yeah, so here I am just telling my story. So this happened, I think, back in 2005. I probably was 17 by then, I'm not really sure. And I wasn't in a really good mental state. I was kind of like that typical teenage that was a little bit edgy, and it was an angst against the world, and it felt that it was always facing alone the world pretty much. So I was that type of teenager. It was also the time when I discovered that not that I discovered, but I really determined that I wanted to dress all in black, kind of more like a goth. Before that, I was kind of experimenting within goth and punk, but then I realized that goth, or like very dark style, was my thing. So I decided to go but that age, I thought, oh, that's what I want to be. Also by that age, it was an age that I was hurting myself, so I used to cut myself, so kind of warning trigger, I should have put that there. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but also was the age that I tried to commit suicide quite a few times, but yeah, I'm still here. So it was a hard one for me. Now I was living on a apartment complex, and all of a sudden we had the news that a young guy that lived on an apartment on the next level died. It seemed like kind of like a natural cause, like nothing like provoked. I don't really remember why he died, but he died. The thing is that then I had this feeling like more deaths were going to happen. So on the following day, we have the news that someone else on the building died as well. And I told this to my mom, and after the first death, I told her I feel like more people are going to die. And my mom, of course, like really didn't believe me. And then after the second death, So after the second death, she's like, do you still feel like people are going to still be dying? And I'm like, yes, there's still like someone else that needs to die. I mean, not like needs to die, but if there's someone else that's going to die. And my mom got really scared, and it didn't die on the following day, but I think it died just a few days afterwards. And during this like days period of time, I saw like this shadow, like a very long, not long, tall, skinny shadow, like going around. Now this building complex, it was very peculiar because it had like a big park on the front of the building. And it was a huge, I mean, it wasn't like a huge park, but it was very, very, it was very big, and it had a lot of tall trees and bushes. So it was very peculiar because the front, it was like being on a little forest, and then behind the complex building, it was like a parking lot. So on the front, on this within these trees, I saw this shadow, and I used to go into this park quite often because it was safe to go there because it was inside the building complex, and it was fun to go because it was a nice change. And especially during winter, it just becomes really pretty. I mean, during fall, it becomes really pretty because of the changes on the leaves and the falling of the leaves. So it was a really pretty place to go and just walk in, especially if you wanted to get lost in a safe way. That was the perfect place to go, and it was just in front of my apartment. My apartment was on the first floor, so pretty much in front of my gate there was this park. And so I see the shadow there, so I started to follow it, and I wasn't afraid of it, so I just started to follow it. And after I finally reach it, I just have this like overwhelming feeling, and then I realized that what I was reaching, it was like death. It was actually death itself, like the angel of death, or however you want to call it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, because the way I saw it immediately, it was kind of like the typical depiction of this like a skeleton with hood and the side. And I didn't see the side really. I saw like a big stick, like a wand, I don't know, but I didn't really see the side. But he definitely like a long, like a dark hood or like tunic or anything like, or something like that. So at that moment, I just grabbed the hood, like part of the clothing, and I see like the very skinny bones, like the hands, like the bones of the hands. And then slowly I stop seeing it like a skeleton, and I see it more like a kind of more like an angel, I guess, more like a person. So I guess it kind of changed the way that I saw it. I guess the way you see death, it will depend on your perception, or maybe on how afraid you are of death. I don't know. I guess at the beginning, as soon as I recognized it as death, I guess the first thing that had come up was the typical depiction of your tarot cards, that it's like this skeleton. And then later, I just saw it because it didn't give me a fear. Like, I didn't feel any fear, and I just have this overwhelming feeling, but it wasn't fear. It was kind of like a warm kind of feeling, and it's something that I just cannot explain. It was something out of this world completely. Nothing has ever made me feel like that, but it wasn't a negative feeling. So maybe because I was overwhelmed by this feeling and I wasn't afraid, I started to see death as an angel more than like the skeletal depiction. So what happens after is that I tell death, take me with you. Like, take me away, because I wanted to die in that moment. I didn't want it to be in this world. So I tell him, take me with you, like take me out of this world. And then he just like takes my hand and tells me, it's not your time yet. It's like, you need to leave, it's not your time. And then I think he just, I mean, she, I don't know, kind of like gives me a smile, but I don't remember like seeing its face very well. So I don't think it was like a smile, but you know how sometimes you can feel like someone is smiling even though you're not really seeing that person. So I think like I had that feeling like Death was smiling at me, but I felt like this really kind feel. So I felt like Death was being very kind with me, and Death kind of didn't like me to tell it like take me. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And then after that, I was a little bit upset because, well, I have Death itself in front of me, but it didn't want to take me. And then after that, of course, within the years, I'm like thankful that it didn't. And it makes me think that Death, of course, is not that like that horrible thing that people believe that it is. Nothing to be scared of. I don't think Death wants to kill people. I think Death just takes people when it's the time to be. And yeah, so then after that, following day or a few days later, the third person dies on the building. And then I stopped feeling that people were going to keep dying. It seems like Death already took the people that it needed to take, and it was just maybe wandering or lingering around while the time of this person came. After that, I haven't had any I never had any other encounter, that's what I want to say, with Death. The only thing that I do have is that I can smell Death, if that makes sense. But that will be for another video if you're actually interested in knowing how I can smell Death. But yeah, I just hope you enjoyed this one. I don't want to keep rambling because I feel that maybe it went too long. I don't know, and I don't want to do too long videos, especially story time, because I feel like I'm not really good at this. But yeah, let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk about, maybe more stories if you're interested on them. And I actually have a lot of stories to tell about that apartment, that building complex, because a lot of things happened there. So if you're interested on knowing more stories about that building complex, or especially that apartment, let me know. Maybe I will be sharing them anyways, but yeah, it will be nice to have some comments on some interaction. I hope I come back soon. I cannot promise anything because I don't know, and I might have a major life update, but not at the moment. Everything's kind of hidden, but yeah, I can't disclose anything at the moment. But if I have that, if things go well and things actually happen, then it will be really exciting to tell you about it through video, or maybe just show you. That will be really cool. But yeah, I just hope you enjoy this. I'm thinking about doing like a video on just like a day of my life, like going to work and stuff like that. I can't really disclose much where I work just because I'm working there. Maybe later when I leave that job later, within time, I can do it. But just kind of like a little blog or something, because this town is very boring, so there is nothing really to make a blog about it. Now I regret never blogging much when I was in Oakland, but yeah, I hope I can do it. I want to be a little bit more active on this. I really want to, but I don't try, so I need to try. Anyway, stop the rambling. Thank you so much for watching, sweethearts, and I hope I see you again. Bye. Choo, choo, choo.